imagine you are him.
No! No! I can't believe this is hell!
If you are past 50, this is not a casual message. Do not skim this with half a heart. If decades have passed under busy calendars, heavy responsibilities, and the habit of postponing the soul, then hear this with both ears. Everything you have carried, the jobs, the bills, the children, the late nights, the quiet sorrows, has brought you to a threshold. On one side is the familiar routine. On the other side is the truth you have delayed. Beyond that truth stands eternity. If you prefer soothing phrases, this will not soothe you. If you prefer honest warning and a real way back, then remain in this moment. Do not move, and let your heart listen. The question is not whether the body will end. You have seen bodies end. The question is what awaits a soul that spent a lifetime without God, that carried on with polite neglect, that trained itself to look away when truth drew near. Scripture does not whisper answers, it thunders with mercy. Jesus describes hell as outer darkness, where there is weeping and gnashing of teeth, as a fiery furnace, an unquenchable fire, eternal punishment, a place of being shut out from the presence of the Lord. The words are not there to decorate a sermon. They are there to seize the drifting mind and say, "Wake up." If you bristle at the severity, let the severity do its merciful work. A warning is love that refuses to stay silent while danger grows. For the 50-plus soul, hell is not a cartoon. It is not theatrics. It is the collision of a lifetime of chosen distance with the unyielding reality of God's holiness. Imagine stepping into a place where light does not greet you. Outer darkness is not just the absence of sun, it is the absence of welcome. In this darkness, there is no doorway to knock on, no friend's house to run to, no window of hope to climb through. The language of darkness says, "You chose separation." So often, so consistently, that separation has now become your address. Those who harden themselves against the quiet call of mercy find that silence becomes loud, and loneliness becomes a landscape. This is what hell is like for any who die unrepentant. For the 50-plus who train their hearts to delay truth, that delay becomes a habit that stretches into forever. If the word fire makes you dismiss the warning as metaphor, consider what the metaphor is trying to say. Fire consumes and reveals. It devours what cannot endure. It exposes what was hidden in the dark. When Jesus speaks of unquenchable fire and the fiery furnace, he is not entertaining the crowd. He is pulling a veil back. Hell's fire says that what you cling to as your private comfort, pride, bitterness, deceit, lust, cruelty, apathy, will not comfort you there. What you once hid behind, you will face. The heat is the truth you cannot cool down, and it burns because it will not lie. For those who lived 50 years polishing excuses, the excuses melt and run away like wax in a furnace. There is no place to set them down. They burn in your hands because they were never meant to be held forever. Weeping and gnashing of teeth are not stage directions. They are the sound of regret when time cannot be rewound. Weeping is sorrow that has no dawn. Gnashing of teeth is the bite of fury against a truth you refused and cannot change. It is the memory of doors you would not open, the echo of voices you would not hear, the weight of words you never spoke because pride held your tongue. For a 50-plus soul, this regret can carry the faces of people you wounded, the calls you rejected, the books you never opened, the prayers you left unsaid. The small moments when God leaned close and you shrugged him off. In hell, there is no appointment to schedule a second chance. The calendar is over, and the loss is unending. Do not say I worked hard all my life. Surely that counts. Work is honorable, and diligence is noble. But sweat cannot wash the soul. You cannot balance the scales of eternity with pay stubs and commendations. Imagine a man who spends 40 years building a house with fine rooms, but never installs a door. When the storm arrives, the house is empty of shelter. The finest furniture cannot become a door. In the same way, honorable labor cannot substitute for repentance. Faithfulness to your employer cannot stand in for faithfulness to truth. You need a door, and that door must be opened in this life. Consider the ordinary American routine, the one that looks harmless day by day and lethal when seen as a whole. Morning, alarms, coffee, news, headlines, traffic. Noon, email, deadlines, performance metrics, budget meetings, quick meals, quick glances at 1,000 screens. Evening, family fatigue, bills, streaming shows, late night scrolling until the mind is numb. None of this looks like rebellion. It only looks like drift. But drift is the quiet cousin of destruction. A river does not need to roar to carry you over a fall. The soul does not need to shout to be neglected. When neglect becomes normal, eternity becomes an afterthought. Hell is not only for the violent and brazen. It is also for the polite who refuse the path of mercy. How exactly will hell feel for someone like me at 50 or 60? Understand this. Scripture's pictures are not entertainment. They are mercies that let the hard-hearted and the distracted taste consequences before they arrive. Outer darkness means no warm beam of welcome, no familiar glow of home. It means awareness without comfort. Unquenchable fire means truth without relief. The burning knowledge that you chose what could not give life and refused what alone could save. Weeping means the heart pouring out what it hoarded for years. Every excuse, every injury, every selfish choice, now seen clearly without the fog of denial. Gnashing of teeth means the soul's revolt against its own choices when change is no longer offered. Shut out from the presence of the Lord means the source of joy, beauty, goodness, and rest stands beyond a boundary you would not cross when the boundary was mercy. You may say, I do not like this language. It does not exist to be liked. It exists to rescue. If you dislike warning, you may dislike seatbelts, lifeguard whistles, and fire alarms. But the alarm is not your enemy. The fire is. If you mute the alarm because it hurts your ears, you have only improved your mood while the building burns. Do not demand that mercy whisper. Let it raise its voice. You are loved too much for a whisper. Picture a room you cannot leave. Not because you are chained by iron, but because your will is the chain. You clung to pride for decades, and now pride clings to you. You treasured your grudges, and now your grudges are your only company. You trained yourself to hate correction and to mock conviction, and now those are the only tutors available. Hell is not the tragic mistake of a kind man who was almost good enough. It is the accurate result of many small choices that trained a heart to reject the only one who can make it new. For a 50-plus soul, entrenched in habits, the warning is sharper because the grooves are deeper. But the warning is also kinder now, because it arrives before the last turn of the road. Some want to argue terminology. Is it literal fire or metaphorical? Is it a place or a condition? The debate can dull the edge of the call. The point is not to win a vocabulary fight. The point is to not lose your soul. Whether you imagine hell as flame that does not consume, or night that never lifts, the message is the same. Do not arrive there. If an image frightens you, let fear do its work long enough to push you toward truth, and then let love lead you home. Now, hear the other side that makes the warning meaningful. Mercy still calls your name. You are not told about darkness to leave you there. You are told so that you will walk toward the light. Forgiveness is not a rumor. It is a door standing open. It is not purchased by overtime and moral bookkeeping. It is received by telling the truth and turning back. Do not mistake hardness for strength. The strongest act is not stubborn denial. It is humility. A strong person says, "I was wrong. I have sinned. I have delayed what mattered. God, have mercy on me." If you want to know the first step, it is simple enough for a child and deep enough for a scholar. Tell the truth to God about your sin. Not with excuses, not with bargaining, not with a list of comparisons to worse people. Tell the truth. Name what you called mistakes as sins. Confess the bitterness you defended. Confess the lust you fed. Confess the greed you baptized as necessity. Confess the lies you justified. Confess the apathy that felt safe. When truth crosses your lips, chains begin to loosen. If you want to know the second step, it is this. Ask for forgiveness and a new heart. You cannot wash your own heart. You cannot perform surgery on your own soul. Ask and keep asking. Seek and keep seeking. Knock and keep knocking. Do not measure sincerity by goosebumps. Measure it by honesty and perseverance. A new heart is not a mood. It is the deep change that comes when God answers a humble request. If you want to know the third step, it is this. Walk in the light. Daily. This does not mean trying to become a religious actor for an audience. It means making room every day for truth to speak and for mercy to lead. 10 quiet minutes with a closed door and a silent phone will do more good for your soul than 10 more opinions online. Read a passage. Reflect on one line. Confess one real thing. Choose one faithful action. Repeat tomorrow. Yield the ground of your life, inch by inch, to the one who knows the path out of darkness. Some will ask, what about those with decent lives, generous habits, and good reputations? Hell is not merely for the scandalous. It is also for the courteous rebels, the polite refusers, the accomplished who never bent the knee. Many fine reputations hide hollow cores. The question is not, do others speak well of me? The question is, did I tell the truth about my sin and ask God for mercy? If you mistake applause for absolution, you will discover that a standing ovation cannot follow you into darkness. Think of what outer darkness means to someone who loved familiar comforts. The restaurant glow, the television's blue light, the phone's warm screen, the porch light after a long day. These small lights are faint echoes of something your soul truly needs. In hell, the echoes do not reach. The soul craves a light it cannot create, and the grief of that lack intensifies, not because God enjoys your pain, but because God's light is the only true good, and you are shut out from it by your own chosen distance. That is why now is the time to close the distance. Think of what unquenchable fire means to someone who learned to numb pain with noise. Noise is a bucket of water on a spark. It quiets the conscience for a moment. But unquenchable fire is the truth that refuses to be drowned by noise. In hell, you cannot scroll past your conscience. You cannot open another tab to hide from the mirror. You cannot mute the truth. The fire's heat is the presence of reality without the relief of denial. Better to face the truth now when mercy stands with you, than to face it later when mercy is no longer your companion. Think of what weeping and gnashing mean to someone who postponed humility for a lifetime. Humility now feels like a small death to pride. Weeping then becomes a long death to hope. Gnashing becomes the body's protest against a verdict it rejects and cannot overturn. Pride kept you from tears when tears would have saved you. Pride kept your teeth clenched when open lips could have confessed. The irony of hell is that the strong pose collapses and the once stiff neck bends. But it bends too late. Bend now, and the bending becomes a bow of worship, not a bend of despair. You want a picture that moves the heart? Imagine the last time you felt truly welcomed. Someone opened a door, smiled without performance, said your name with warmth, made a place for you at a table. That was a shadow, a tiny foretaste of what God's presence is like. Hell is the absence of that welcome, not for an evening, not for a season, but without end. The table is set elsewhere. The door you would not walk through while it was open does not open by force later. The warmth you rejected becomes the warmth you long for without relief. Let this thought move you now, because it is meant to. To the 50+ who feel beyond repair, hear a final invitation. You are not asked to polish your soul before you bring it in. You are asked to bring your soul in truth. If you can admit the real story, you are closer to rescue than you think. If you can say, I am not enough on my own, you are already pushing open the right door. Do not perform for God. Speak to God. Do not congratulate yourself for small decencies. Confess yourself for deep sins. Do not fear that mercy will run out before it reaches you. Mercy is deeper than your longest regret. If the images of darkness and fire disturb you, do not try to heal your fear with denial. Let fear start the movement. Then let love take your hand. You are not being asked to leap a canyon. You are being asked to walk through a door and to keep walking. You know after 50 years that the smallest faithful steps change a life. Take those steps now, but take them in the right direction. Toward truth, toward mercy, toward the light that does not dim. Say what you need to say. In your own room, with your own words, ask for forgiveness. Ask for a new heart. Ask to be kept from the end described here. Ask to walk in light. Do not reach for perfect phrases. Reach for honesty. The warning has done its work if it brought you to this doorstep. The rest is not performed, it is received. You are not the author of mercy. You are the guest. Knock as a guest knocks, with humility and hope. Do not leave this at the level of feelings. Let it become choices. Tell someone the truth you have never told. Return what you stole, even if it is only an apology. Forgive someone who has lived rent-free in your mind. Delete what drags you back into chains. Open what invites you forward into light. Set aside time each day, even a little, to be present to God without a script. These are not chores. They are ways of staying awake. Finally, do not be confused about why the warning is strong. It is strong because the stakes are eternal. It is strong because hell is not a mood to be shaken off, but a reality to be avoided. It is strong because love does not mumble when a cliff is close. If the words felt heavy, let their weight move your feet. If the images felt fierce, let their fire refine your will. If the call felt near, do not push it away. After 50 years, you know that opportunities do not present themselves forever. Let this be the hour you rip up the old script and receive a new heart. Let this be the night you stop drifting and start walking. Let this be the line you cross. Out of darkness, away from fire, beyond weeping and gnashing, into the mercy that was waiting while you postponed it. For those who have lived most of their days chasing security, comfort, and respectability, hell is described not as a carnival of fright, but as a stark invitation to reckon with what truly lasts. The memory of years spent chasing things that crumble can sharpen the question. Did anything endure enough to bear a soul when the lights go dim? The answer is not found in heroic deeds alone, but in a humble moment when truth is faced with courage. Mercy meets that honesty, and forgiveness becomes the doorway through which a life can begin again. In the quiet hours when the house is still, and every noise seems far away, consider this question. If the heart could speak honestly about its deepest need, what would it ask for? Perhaps it would say, I need a pardon I cannot earn, a trust I cannot conjure on my own, and a direction that leads away from regret. If that is your voice, you are already near mercy's threshold. The invitation is not to pretend you have nothing to confess, but to confess with the simple courage that says, this is where I begin again. Turning back is not a performance. It is a turning of the heart toward the one who loves you without calculation. It may begin with a single sentence spoken aloud to God, or with the quiet, unspoken truth that you mean to change a pattern this week. The path is not a parade of perfect words, but a steady stream of small acts that align your life with truth. A repentant heart does not demand proof of worthiness. It receives grace and learns to walk in light, one day at a time. To speak honestly to your sons and grandchildren is to invite them into your journey, rather than to lecture them from a distance. Explain that life is more than comfort. It is a classroom in which the heart learns to love rightly. Share your own struggles with procrastination, pride, or fear, and demonstrate what it means to ask for help, from God and from others. Let them see you choosing truth in small moments, apologizing when wrong, seeking reconciliation, and choosing patience over quick judgments. When grandchildren ask about eternity, answer with clarity and gentleness. Life is a gift with purpose, and our choices shape who we become. If they ask difficult questions, listen first, then respond with honesty, humility, and reliance on mercy. The call to live with eternity in view is not a confiscation of joy. It is a refinement of joy. The joy that endures is the joy that refuses to hide from truth, refuses to pretend that every desire is a right, and refuses to ignore the counterweight of consequence. The life that endures is the life that learns to love what lasts. Integrity, mercy, forgiveness, and a heart oriented toward repair rather than perpetual avoidance. If you fear that discussing these matters will overwhelm your family, begin with small, ordinary moments. A shared meal, a short walk, a quiet question after a day's work. These become the bridges by which children and grandchildren cross into meaningful conversations about faith, doubt, and hope. Do not force fear out with more fear. Invite courage in with steady presence, listening ears, and a willingness to walk alongside them as they learn to ask their own questions. As for the imagery of hell, it remains a weighty image, designed to awaken care for what is truly precious. When discussing it, aim to hold the tension, the seriousness of consequence, and the tenderness of mercy. The warnings are there not to crush the heart, but to awaken it to the life that truly fulfills. In doing so, you model a faith that can hold mystery, sorrow, and hope together, without collapsing into cynicism or superstition. If you want a practical, day-by-day plan for families, here is one you can adopt or adapt. Morning. Share a short verse or truth that centers the day on mercy. Midday. A quick text to check in with a child or grandchild about their questions. Evening. A brief, honest reflection on what went well and what could be repaired, followed by a simple prayer for courage to pursue truth. In every conversation, aim to honor God's grace while speaking with honesty about human frailty. The aim is not to win an argument, but to open a door for real, lasting change. Within yourself, within your family, and within the hearts of those you love most. Finally, remember this. Turning toward truth does not erase past mistakes, but it transforms how past mistakes shape the future. Mercy does not erase accountability. It gives the heart a new direction. It is possible to finish well, even after decades of delay, if every day is lived with an awareness of eternity and a willingness to walk in truth.